3 years from now. I think Trump has eroded global trust in the American economy and American deal making.
You mean the all-time high market ever in history?
It's high because they don't believe.
The all-time high?
They think Trump is going to chicken out.
Never been higher. Never been worth more. Never been more successful. Never.
When the liberation
eroded that trust. All-time high today at 4:30 in history. Never worth more. What are you talking about?
Well, CNN hacks are desperately trying to discredit President Trump as he continues to rack up one win after another after another. Now, this week, Trump signed the Genius Act into law, a game-changing move that's unleashing innovation, supercharging financial prosperity, and putting America first in the global economy. Meanwhile, the Democrats are just stuck in the Stone Age, dragging their feet, getting left in the dust, all as their support is at the lowest levels ever reported by CNN. Now, if you don't know, the Genius Act is a bold, forward-thinking law that represents the first major federal framework for cryptocurrency, making it easier for banks to issue stable coins and slashing red tape that's been choking innovation in the digital currency space for years now. This matters because crypto is the future of finance, and Trump's making sure America leads that global charge. So while other countries are still figuring out how to regulate this stuff, we're out there paving the way for wealth creation, job growth, and financial freedom. Now, what's so key to get here is that cryptocurrency, how do I put that? It's not on the financial periphery anymore. It's now fully mainstream, and it's being used by small business owners, investors, and hardworking Americans who want to protect their money from inflation and government overreach. The Genius Act cuts through the bureaucratic nonsense that's been holding back this industry, and the markets are loving it. Since the bill was signed, I mean, we've seen a surge in crypto stocks with companies like Coinbase and Ripple posting double-digit gains. The S&P 500 hit another record high this week, and analysts from places like Robinhood are saying this law is a big reason why. Now, this is such a big deal for conservatives because we are the party that advocates for freedom, the freedom to innovate, the freedom to build wealth, as well as to keep the government out of our wallets. Trump is deregulating key areas of finance, stripping away the suffocating rules the Democrats and their big government allies have piled on for years. Under this law, banks can move faster, startups can scale up, and investors can get into the crypto market without jumping through a million hoops. This is about empowering more Americans than ever to take control of their financial future. But while Trump's out there building the future, the Democrats are so far behind on this. Over the previous 4 years, they had their chance to lead on crypto regulation, but they blew it. They had a bill in the House, a half-baked attempt at crypto rules. It crashed and burned because they couldn't get their act together. And frankly, that's because they're just too busy pandering to their woke base to actually govern. Meanwhile, Trump's signing laws that are putting money in Americans' pockets. The Democrats' failure isn't just about one bill. I think it's about their entire mindset. They're scared of change. They're scared of innovation. They're so obsessed with controlling every aspect of our lives through taxes, regulations, you name it, that they can't see the absolute flourishing potential in something like cryptocurrency. They want to keep us tethered to their outdated big government, old industrial financial system where they get to decide who wins and who loses. But inexorably, the world is moving on and they're getting left behind. You could see it in the polling. While polls show Trump's approval and the economy climbing, the Democrats are stuck at a measly 28% favorability. This according to CNN itself, the ultimate Democrat pandering machine. Take a look.
There's this new CNN polling out today that says quite a bit. Just 28% of Americans view the Democratic Party favorably. And the context of that is the lowest mark for Democrats in the history of CNN's polling going back to 1992.
So with the political left falling apart like this, really the question is, how can we hardworking Americans take advantage of this golden age moment? Trump is building an economy where you can take risks, start businesses, and keep more of what you earn. That's the American dream, and Trump's fighting for it. Joining me today is my good friend and financial expert, Jonathan Rose, CEO of Block Trust IRA, who's on the forefront of this crypto revolution. And Jonathan has some exceptional insights on how we can all take advantage of this extraordinary financial revolution happening right before our very eyes. We really are in unprecedented times. Jonathan, great to see you again, as always. Thanks for joining us.
Dr. Steve, thanks for having me back. I'm on the road today, but I just wanted to stop by and be a part of something special that you and your audience talk about every single day, whether it's finance, political, world events. But it's a very exciting time for crypto, and anytime I can pop in and to your studio and talk to you about crypto, I relish in the opportunity because it's just such a fast-paced, moving environment for crypto. And a couple of things that kind of caught my ears as you was introducing me, like innovation. Like, President Trump has talk about the most innovative mind of our times, because you're right, the loony left, as I also like to call them, what President Trump has done in 6 months, they couldn't accomplish in 4 years. So what we're seeing right now is bringing the US to the forefront of this technology platform of cryptocurrency and being a leader in this environment, and then also giving just the general population, just good hardworking Americans, the same opportunities to now break these kind of financial shackles and get ahead in life and kind of create a financial legacy for themselves with this exciting world of cryptocurrency. And the Genius Act is definitely another checkbox there that's making this all happen.
We were just talking about before the interview again, because I have an account with Block Trust IRA. I love you guys, and we were just talking about that, and we're just so excited to see the incredible financial opportunities that are happening right before us now. I mean, just absolutely like historically unprecedented. I would love your take on the Genius Act. You're on the front lines of both crypto and the AI revolution with Block Trust IRA. That's what you guys are so amazing. Trump is arguing that the Genius Act effectively positions America as a leader in the global cryptocurrency market. What specific developments are you observing on the front lines of this financial revolution as a result of this Genius Act?
Yeah, the Genius Act, and genius in its name itself applies. But really what it does is it brings a lot of legitimacy to the crypto market, first and foremost. And when people start trying to dissect this Genius Act, it talks a lot about tokenization. But really, people should really focus on the fact that it's not just about tokenization, it's about infrastructure. And it's about cutting that red tape, that bureaucracy. Here we go. My light's going. There we go. We're back.
I love hotels, right? Yeah.
Right. It's cutting that red tape so people can invest safely and securely. Because, when you talk about the Genius Act, you have to talk about tokenizations. You have to talk about stable coins. What's a stable coin? It's simply put an asset that's worth $1, but it's also backed up by a US dollar, backed by fiat currency. So in the past, when people have been sitting in stable coins, we're taking good word that, hey, this stable coin that you're purchasing has the money, the collateral to back it up, this tokenization. Well, now they want to say, well, that's great. We believe you, but we also want proof. We want to see and legitimize the fact that you have the assets. If someone's investing $1 million in a stable coin, then there are, in fact, assets behind that to back up 1-for-1 ratio. So that's very important, peace of mind for the market. So really, who wins there? The investor wins there, because they know that there's rules and regulations. And people may say, well, what stable coins? Why does the investor even need a stable coin? Well, it could simply put, traders that are out there in the market, they may be trading in crypto. They don't want to exit into fiat currency, but they may just want to keep it on a digital platform. So they move over into a stable coin, and they now have the security of knowing that that is a stable coin, in a sense that there's money behind it. It's been audited. So when you're looking at this Genius Act, really, yes, tokenization, but I would focus more on the word on infrastructure. So they're laying the foundation, they've laid the pillars, they've laid the roof, And all of a sudden, we have this new house, this new arena, and that equals full adoption, the future of money. So we've seen at such a breakneck speed the acceleration of this crypto market. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago or less, President Trump, through his social media company, purchased $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, which, wow, right? And you look at other heads of states of positions, they're all buying Bitcoin. They're adding Bitcoin to the US Treasury. So what's this all about? To purchase that much Bitcoin, what do they know that we don't know? Well, they're transparent. They're showing us everything. What they're showing us is that this is here to stay. This is full adoption, and it's going to be the future of money. I can't talk about, and I mentioned Bitcoin a lot because it's like the digital gold, it's the flagship bearer, but Ethereum as well. Ethereum's had a wonderful run over the past couple of weeks. Why is that? Because again, the Stable Act, the Genius Act, is paving the way for opportunity in the crypto market, where banks are now saying, okay, we may have been naysayers in the past. We're now getting on board with this because we can see it's the future of money. They're going to start building their own stable coins, their own apps within the new payment gateways, these rails that they use for transferring money. And they're doing it through the blockchain that's built on Ethereum. So Ethereum has had a very kind of bullish cycle right now. Yeah. Traders are telling me, expect 10,000 a coin for Ethereum.
Wow.
So, that's a little bit of inside scoop I'm giving there. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're my 1-2 punch. I love them. Obviously, we offer over 60 different cryptocurrencies. So I'm not saying that the rest are not good. Far from it. There's some really good ones out there. But I think people who are new to this opportunity and don't constrain this as financial advice, myself personally, who has been in banking for over, nearly 30 years now, when I look at the most secure types of cryptocurrencies to invest in, I like Bitcoin, I like Ethereum. To me, that's like the gold and silver.
Yeah.
Ones that have the most stability. And again, things like the Genius Acts are just very bullish, not just for the market, but for coins like this, and just expect this momentum to continue.
I actually think that's a brilliant parallel there. Gold and silver, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, because Ethereum was stuck, in the 2000s for how long? It seemed like for few years, and all of a sudden it just broke through. And what is it, 4,000 now? Something? It was over 4,000.
Because the banks are now getting involved. This is what people understand. They may not advertise this, but the banks see the future of money is going to be through stable coins, sending money. For me, if I send a family member some money over in Europe, it could take 24 to 48 hours realistically. Then they're like, I still didn't receive it. Then you got to pay $35. Through the genius revolution of cryptocurrency and payment sending, you can send it in seconds, and it costs, and it's pennies. So it's the adoption is growing so fast. Another good example of how the adoption and how early we are, early in this opportunity, is Bitcoin has 11% global adoption right now. And that's the equivalent of where we were when the internet started. So when people are looking into this, sitting on the sidelines, reading, am I too late? No, this is just the very beginning of what's about to explode forward moving.
That is the value of crypto in the end. It's the infrastructure. It's exactly what you said. It's being able to go into any country in the world that you could not bring in a bag of gold into that country, or even just a bag of cash in that country. Without whereas you could go anywhere in the world and bring your crypto. It's not you just bring your crypto wallet, as it were, your ledger, or just your computer, and you're fine. She put it this way. It was very interesting. We had a technology of wiring, through the telegraph, to be able to wire transfers and so forth, but the physicality of the monetary system represented a lag to that. So we could wire instantaneously, but I could not physically send the money for days. Whereas now crypto, the lag is gone. Now the money has hooked up with the instantaneous nature of the transfer itself. And that just seems to be that's the value of the money of the future that's already come forward into time and realized in the present.
Yeah, it's the innovation, right? And the innovation is paramount, especially in the banking world where everything moves so quickly. I remember when I used to work on the London Metal Exchange, a trader would give me a ticket. I would run around to the other side of the trade floor, argue with a trader trying to settle trades. Then that job went away because the computers and internet and settlements started happening. And it's just like the logical progression. And this is the logical progression of sending money, use case scenarios. And again, fiat currency, we look at the US dollar, and unfortunately $37 trillion in debt, has a lot of political baggage. It's a locomotive of runaway debt that won't slow down. And the writing's on the wall. The banks see this. This is why now everyone's shifting the new systems that are being built out into cryptocurrency. And a lot of people are probably hearing this and say, yeah, I can see it's the future money, it's the evolution. But what they don't want to do is get left behind, because the opportunity in this market is right now. It's very apparent that this is the time to get involved in cryptocurrency, whether it's through IRAs, retirement accounts, or just, money that's dormant, sitting on the sidelines. I think you want to put that best case money to work so you can be a part of this wealth transfer that's currently unfolding in front of our very own eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. And gang, just click on the link below to you'll go to Block Trust IRA or turleytalkscrypto.com. And you can learn how Jonathan and his company can help you get involved in crypto, especially if this is your first time. Again, I'm a client of theirs. I love them. I could not recommend a company more than Jonathan's and Block Trust IRA. I want to ask you, with the whole act, this Genius Act reducing regulatory barriers for banks and startups. And I think we're already seeing the surge in crypto adoption. Again, it's happening. Like you said, we're kind of like that bottom 10% here. How do you see this shaping investment opportunities amidst the current economic climate?
Well, there's a kind of a news bombshell, a $9 trillion bombshell that's currently underway that you may have heard about. And that's, again, the loony left kind of subduing people's 401ks. And then obviously President Trump getting ready to sign an executive order to encourage employers to offer cryptocurrency to their employees. So this is going to shake up Wall Street. And in fact, we've already been approached, maybe once this is all done and dusted, I can share more with you, but we've been approached by plan administrators who are looking for providers such as ourselves to be able to integrate cryptocurrency choices to employees who have 401ks. Because right now, an employee who has a 401k, they're kind of limited in what they can invest in. It's like 3 buckets, they get to pick one, and then that's it. People say, well, what about X, Y, and Z? But there's been such a high demand for crypto that now this new executive order is going to open up the doors to millions and millions of Americans with 401ks. Now, is it going to happen overnight? Probably not, even when it gets passed, because I used to consult for big banks, HSBC, AIG. When they said yes to me and I helped them with some operational aspects, they're still like a snail, they're like molasses. It takes a while to come to fruition, but it's a step in the right direction. So being a step in the right direction and know that full adoption, the market's going from strength to strength, then you want to start thinking, well, I have a 401k from a previous employer. I can roll that over, or I'm 59 and a half. I can just do it myself, or have a self-directed IRA, or I have funds in the market and I want to diversify because I'm scared about whether it's inflation or debt, right? So people can actively get involved now, but the future looks extremely bright. It's going to be a $9 trillion earthquake in the Wall Street arena, where people are now, eventually, it's not going to happen overnight, because there's a lot of regulatory red tape. Once President Trump says yes, you still have to kind of cut through all that bureaucracy with these big banks. But I think it will happen quickly. It just won't be an overnight thing. It will just still take a little bit of watchdog and pushing it through, but it's a step in the right direction and an opportunity for people to realize what direction this is all going in.
Every time I talk to you, I always get so fired up. I mean, because it's just so amazing, again, what the opportunity that's in front of us. Just we're in a literal epical paradigm shift, historical paradigm shift, the likes of which we I just couldn't even have imagined just a few years ago. Jonathan. So Block Trust IRA. I mean, you don't just do crypto. You marry together the two biggest innovative developments, I think, of our lives right now,
Right.
and that's crypto and AI. You bring those together to help mitigate some of the volatility with crypto. That's why I love what you do so much. Can you give our audience right now just some very practical steps everyone can take advantage of for this incredible, it seems to me, really a once in a lifetime moment we're in to leverage the Genius Act's provisions to navigate and profit from this evolving cryptocurrency landscape? What practical things can people do right now?
Yeah, obviously, first of all, to get an education, because I think that's where it starts, is they go to turleytalkscrypto.com. But something you brought up, and I'm glad, hopefully I've got a few minutes to explain, because you mentioned AI and crypto, and we are at the forefront of both of them, and we've married them together. And you're probably thinking, well, why is that important? How does that work? Because with crypto, it's a market that doesn't sleep. There's no opening bell. There's no closing bell. It's traded 24/7, 365. It's not like gold where you buy it, throw it in a safe, and you forget about it. That a buy and hold strategy works for an asset like gold. But with a crypto, because we have all these new age problems, you need new age tools. And really what our AI does is extremely sophisticated, where we're looking at investor sentiment, GDP growth, inflation figures. There's so many data points that we are looking at to see if there's going to be volatility in the market. Because before, in a buy and hold strategy, volatility is not your friend, because if the market drops, you either panic and sell, which investors actually do that, or you have to wait till it comes back up. So through AI, what we're able to do, it's almost like a lifeguard on a beach, and he's sitting there, he's waving the red flag, everyone come out of the water, we see a riptide coming, it's too choppy, you shouldn't be in there, so everyone gets out of the water. And it's kind of like the investments, people have IRAs, 401ks, cash sitting there, we see the volatility in the market coming, we take those people, put them back into cash safely, and so they're safe and secure, wait for that volatility to drop and buy back in. And that does one of two things. One, it mitigates that drawdown, mitigates that risk. So maybe you're here versus here. And then you're able to wait for the volatility to be over, purchase back in at a lower price, which is my favorite thing to do, because now you're compounding, right? Yeah. So a buy and hold strategy in crypto, not to say that it's wrong, but in my personal opinion, you're going to lose the race. It's like the dinosaur strategy, and we know what happened to those guys. So if you want to get ahead, you need these cutting edge tools to manage a market that doesn't sleep. And that's what separates us from the herd. We are the first to market with these AI strategies. We actually work with hedge funds, and they use our signals currently for the elite, the uber wealthy. We take those strategies, and we've now been able to approve them, bring them down to a retail level where people like you and I can take advantage of this, invest in crypto safely and securely, right? But also have that peace of mind that we have someone watching our crypto portfolio like a watchdog. So again, folks, if they want to know more, they can go to turleytalkscrypto.com, get an education. That's key. They can speak to a crypto specialist. And I think now's the time to do this, because everything in the market is happening now, and you'd want to get in sooner rather than later.
So well put. Yeah, gang, just click on the link below to go to turleytalkscrypto.com. I mean, honestly, we have never been in a historical moment quite like this one, and it's not going to happen again. We're on the front lines of a financial revolution like we never even imagined possible just a few short years ago. A new crypto revolution. President Trump and the MAGA movement is at the forefront in launching this incredible movement, and you need to be a part of it. I'm a true believer. I told you I've got an account with Jonathan, Block Trust IRA. They're simply the best. I've done all kinds of crypto. I have my Coinbase. I have my self-custody. But when you really want a rocket boost to combine crypto with AI, Block Trust IRA is the best. I'm telling you. So just click on that link below. Check out turleytalkscrypto.com. I could not recommend any crypto company more If you've been wanting to get involved in crypto, or if you just want to take your crypto portfolio to the next level by utilizing AI, right, then make sure to click on that link below right now. Visit turleytalkscrypto.com, turleytalkscrypto.com. And if you do it right now, you can actually claim up to $2,500 in funding bonuses too. Don't miss out on that chance to take financial control of your life like you never imagined. The opportunity that's in front of us here is just simply unprecedented. As you can see, I get very excited even thinking about it. Jonathan, I always get excited chatting with you, my friend. Great to see you. I love Block Trust IRA and what you guys are doing. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for us.
Me too. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Jonathan.